Perfect. So this webinar is about self-sponsorship, how to set up business, get settlement fast track. And I'm the director of AY&J Solicitors, and DNI is head of operation. And she has a huge experience dealing with this application, over 100 applications, doing self-sponsorship, more than 60 successful cases. So she will be sharing her experience, expertise, and knowledge and live case study with you on this webinar. Right. So this webinar is about self-sponsorship, but I think it's not about just self-sponsorship. It's more about how to get settlement and same time how you can run your business and also put yourself on a path to settlement in 5 years' time or even sooner than that. So we'll cover a couple of categories, right? Innovator visa, global business mobility, and self-sponsorship. So we'll cover all that. What we want to do is we want to spend majority of our time today answering your question, right? So before we get into it, just let us know what is the one thing you want to take away from this webinar. Just one thing, because you are here, you want to spend time with us. Someone say, okay, Dr. Rahmatu is saying, I want to settle in the UK. Very good. At affordable price, settlement route. What else? Wonderful. Let's continue. So what will you get from this webinar? Of course, couple of options, business options, how it works and how it can put you on a path to settlement. That's exactly what you will get. And this is what Diana will cover with her live example she has done. And Diana, I would invite you to please share these 3 categories, which is on your screen. The next slide is, there are 3 options, Diana. If you can cover these options for our audience in brief, how it works, the benefit with some live example, case studies which you have dealt with. And then, our focus is to answer majority of questions of the audience today. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Yash. Right. So the first visa category, it's an Innovator founder visa. It's a new type of visa. It's basically has opened in April 2023 and was set to replace what we had earlier on, Innovator visa and Startup visa. Now, this is available to every single one of you, so to all foreign entrepreneurs looking to set up a business in the UK and eventually get a settlement in the United Kingdom. Now, the downside to this visa category that it's available to everybody who would like to settle down in the UK is the fact that you are dependent, or your application to be successful is basically dependent on an endorsing body. So before you even go ahead and make an application to the Home Office to even get your foot into this immigration rules, you have to have an endorsement. So someone has to vouch for your business idea, and that business idea, of course, has to be viable, has to be innovative, and has to be scalable. So the Home Office, what they have done previously, we had an entire list on the government website who can potentially endorse your business idea. But now these organizations have been limited to 4, and the only 4 endorsing bodies that you can approach and obtain an endorsement is basically the Investors Limited, UK Endorsing Services, Innovator International, and there is another program which is called the Global Entrepreneurs Program. So only after you have obtained an endorsement letter from these endorsing bodies, you can go ahead and submit an application as an innovator. In addition to having this certificate of endorsement, you will definitely need to be in a position to speak language, so to speak English. So you have to read the English language test. You will also have to be in a position to submit a business plan. Now, this business plan must have been initially submitted with your endorsement application, but is something that has been coming up or has been requested by the Home Office when you are making this type of applications. So you definitely, the way that the Home Office are structuring this applications are the new business criteria, what we call it nowadays. So you got to submit this business plan for which you might have been endorsed by the endorsing body, and also most important thing, you got to have that sign off information that your business venture that you are going to start is innovative, viable, and scalable. This is something that probably not many of you might be enticed if it's available, but based on my experience as a solicitor in the field, especially in the last 24 months, I have not seen many clients choosing this particular innovator route. Now, the other option or the other category that is available and has replaced another immigration category is the global mobility or the expansion worker route, like we call it. So the expansion worker route is basically what we used to have earlier on, sole representative visa. Okay, so you will have to have an overseas business abroad, and then that overseas business will be setting a business in the UK. The business in the UK will have to apply for a sponsor license, and with the assistance of that UK business sponsor license, then you can sponsor whoever you wish to sponsor from abroad to come to the UK. Now, the downside to this particular route is that doesn't lead to settlement immediately. So if, let's say, you are a director or an operation director or maybe a financial director that wishes to come to the UK using this particular route, yes, you come here on a visa, but then eventually your UK business has to apply for another branch of a license in order for you to be in a position to switch into what is called today skilled worker visa. And only by switching into your skilled worker visa, you can then apply for indefinite leave to remain. So again, it's good, but it's temporary. And if you are all looking to settle down, based on my experience and the feedback I received from clients from all over the world, is that the self-sponsorship is the best route for people to actually settle down in the United Kingdom. And this is what we are going to be discussing today. I'm going to start with the very first section. So we have separated, or at the time when we were looking at opportunities for people likewise yourself to come to the UK, we've came up with this idea of self-sponsorship, and we have structured the self-sponsorship in a way where it's easy for everyone to understand, it's viable, you can scale your business, and it's almost, I would say, 99% guarantee. So the success rate that we've been having since we've come up with this self-sponsorship route to lead the settlement is quite high. So the very first stage, so we've divided the self-sponsorship route in 3 stages. Stage 1 is establishing a UK limited company and apply for a sponsor license once you've established a company. Now, what does it mean by that? Because I've got a lot of questions coming up from my existing clients or previous clients. What does it actually mean establishing a company? Well, you've got 2 options or multiple options here in the UK. So you can choose to purchase a business in the United Kingdom, okay, and it's already an active business, and you want to buy that business, you are very much interested in that UK business that's already here in the UK. Or some of you might have an amazing idea and say, look, I just want to go into this venture and establish my own UK limited company and run it the way that I want to run it. So that's actually, what does it mean establishing a UK company? You got to form a company in the United Kingdom. You got to make sure that that company has all the required documentation, registered with the tax office, with the company house. You've got all this, what's needed now in the UK, employer liability insurance, a bank account. You have to obtain all these mandatory documents for a business in order for a business to run in the UK. So this is what we call it as stage 1. Now, to make your life easier, we have listed down a variety of documents as what is needed in order for us to move from stage 1, once we have established a company, to move into stage 2, what is actually the sponsor license application. So as part of the sponsor license application requirements, we only require from a UK business 4 mandatory documents, and we've given you an indication of 7, so you can pick and choose out of the 7 the 4 mandatory documents that you need in order for you to actually make a sponsor license application. So it could be an employer liability insurance up to 5 million, recent business bank statement showing that the business has money and can afford can run, can trade, can pay salaries. Certificate of VAT registration. If you were to be a business registered with VAT, I want to make a note here, just in brackets, it's not mandatory to be VAT registered as a company. So you can function in the UK without having to be VAT registered. The VAT registration kicks in after a while, I would say. Evidence of registration with the tax office or with the HMRC, how we call it here, and that will be the PAYE and accounting reference number. It's literally a letter that you obtain from the HMRC, and with that particular document you can put together, make your 4 documents, and those will be your 4 documents that is needed in order for you to actually make an application for a license. As part of the sponsor license application, of course, we always tell our clients, or we prepare our clients, that especially when you are a new business, you will always be scrutinized by the Home Office. So regardless of the industry that you are moving in or you are looking to venture out, the Home Office will always be skeptical of new businesses that are appearing in the market and are looking to apply for a sponsor license. So it's very, very, very important from the very start to have right guidance how to prepare a sponsor license application, especially when your business has only been trading or has existed for, let's say, 6 months or 8 months. Now, I want to clear this air out that has been coming, I would say, on various platforms where people give their opinion. Some of them might not actually be qualified to give such an opinion. There is no minimum or maximum required amount of time as to when a company can qualify to a sponsor license, to apply for a sponsor license. According to the Home Office, every single business in the United Kingdom can apply for a sponsor license, whether you have existed 24 years ago, whether you've only existed 6 months ago. So please, if you are someone that has only started their business 3 months ago and you are getting the advice that you should wait for another 6 months in order for you to apply for a license, that's wrong. You can make an application as soon as possible and as soon as you've got all the mandatory documents that you need as a company to make this application. And as an organization, you got to focus on one of the most important questions that you need to address when you're putting forward that application for a license. Why do you need a sponsor license? Why does your company require a sponsor license? As long as you've got the information to that, and my advice as a solicitor is, don't provide fluff on a piece of paper just to fill in the pages. Provide reality. I want to apply for a sponsor license because I've got an amazing idea. I'm going to be creating the most impactful AI application and only I can do it. Okay, when I say I can do it, means the individual that has created the business wants to come and run his own business to the best of his ability. That's reality. Don't provide fluff. The more fluff you provide, the more you are going to get into trouble. Now, I've got so much information to share just because of my experience in the field, but I would like to pass on some to Yash because he's going to streamline. We don't have much time on this webinar.
Absolutely. And thank you, Deanna, for handing over. Now, next, of course, Deanna, you have done over 100 self-sponsorship cases, right? So there is someone who talked about Sunanda Ambagala. She said she want to set up, she want to bet up in business in construction industry, want to get settlement. She has 18 years experience in construction industry, Sunanda, as a business owner, right? So Sunanda, thank you for joining. Do you want to share that experience, the one you did identical case for someone who was in construction industry from India? If you can share that briefly, that'd be nice for the audience as a refresher, a little bit of change on the normal delivery of this webinar, and then we'll continue with the step 2 and step 3 to conclude the self-sponsorship, please.
Yes, absolutely. More than happy to do that. And I would like to also share, he was our very first client for whom we have assisted with self-sponsorship. And his video is still on our YouTube channel. So go check him out, check his company, Real people or real person that has come to seek my advice. Okay, so basically he was an Indian national. He's still an Indian national. He was working for his father's business in one of the region in India. Their majority of their work was on road works, so not much to do with the, let's say, with the buildings on its own, but he had this desire that he wanted to branch out and be independent financially, but also in business. So he wanted to step out of what his family were doing in terms of construction. So he was looking for opportunities. Now he had two options: go to Canada or come to the United Kingdom. And what we have done, we've helped him to establish a UK limited company in the UK with the same idea he had, doing construction work. He's coming from a background, quite educated background. He did some sort of construction degree. He's worked with his family or in the family industry for around approximately 15 years. He had the necessary investment, okay, because to set up a construction company in the UK, you cannot do it if you have £5,000 of savings. But just to give you an idea what I'm referring to, appropriate investment for a construction company, because he was looking to develop big projects. He started slowly with individual projects, picking up houses, building them, restructuring them, refurbishing them. And his initial investment 2 years ago, when we've actually helped him, was £40,000. We did the company. The bank account was open, available funds were there. Then we moved on to the sponsor license application. We have obtained the sponsor license application for his company within 3 working days after submitting the license. His Appendix A letter, what we call it in our legal terms, or information letter, why he's applying for the license. I think it's probably the first Appendix A letter that went to the Home Office saying a director wishes to come to the UK and run his own business. That's it. And I know this for a fact. We got the license within 3 working days. We then prepared the skilled worker visa application. We went for a priority service along with his family members. So they were a family of 5. Within 5 working days from attending his biometrics in India, he received his endorsement, meaning his sticker valid for 3 months. Informing and confirming that he has been granted a skilled worker visa for a period of 5 years. So we went for the maximum, which will allow him to settle down 3 years down the line. He will be in a position to settle down in the United Kingdom. So we've gone out, applied, got the visa, and then he came to the UK. And as of the date, his feedback is, I've made the best decision to use this route because it allows me to run my business without having to rely on other people. So I'm secure, I can run it, I can make money, and I can grow. So that's the example.
Case study, live case study. Diana shared almost like early days of our self-sponsorship example. That's what she has shared just now. There are a lot of questions coming up. Of course, people want to understand the process. They want to understand the cost. We will cover everything right now. So please bear with us. We have plenty of time to do all your questions. We'll try and cover as much as possible. So the process, people talked about process, very simple. 3-step process. Establish your company. Number 1, step 1. Once you get the company up and running, Diana did cover all that part already. People who joined a bit late, you will get the copy of recording, so you can watch again one more time if you missed the step 1. The step 2 is to get the sponsor license for your company. So step 1 is get the company. Step 2 is to get the sponsor license for the company you have built up. That's your company. You are the director. You are the 100% shareholder of that company. You get the sponsor license. That's step 2. And step 3 is getting a skilled worker visa to work for your own company. Right? Very simple. It's very simple. 3-step process. This is to answer the question of someone, the process question. Ashraf's question is, what's the process and feasibility? We can explain process. It's very simple 3-step process. Establish company, get the sponsor license for the company, that's your company, and get the skilled worker visa for yourself to work for your own company through your own license. It's 3-step process. Diana, do you want to add anything on step 2 and 3, please?
Not necessarily. I think one thing that I did not cover in step 2, you got to make sure that your company also has all the policy and procedures that you need as an organization and as a licensed sponsor in order for you to receive successfully that sponsor license application. So some people, they saying, I like to give examples because that's what I get every single day. Oh, why would we need policy and procedures? We got the license, it's fine. Yes, but you also have to make sure that you are maintaining your license for as long as you need, or for as long as you would like to grow your business with skilled staff from abroad. There is no point of getting the license and losing the license in 6 months. And I'm telling you from experience, I've seen many suspensions. When you lose a license, not only that there is a lot of money that you invest, time, efforts, and there is that feeling where you don't know whether the evidence that you are providing to justify to the Home Office that you have the policy and procedures, work which you should have done earlier on, are sufficient for them to give you the license back. That's what I want to add. So we help you to create your policy and procedures. We not only we do that, but we do provide to our clients a package which I haven't seen across, where you have a HR system for your company with your own login details, that you can use it even if you grow as a company maybe to 15, 20, 25 employees or more than that. That's what I wanted to add, to just make sure that people do understand the importance of keeping yourself in check every time.
Wonderful. I think so 3-step process. Step 1, establish company. Step 2 is get the sponsor license. Step 3 is get the skilled worker visa for yourself to work for your own company. That's the simple 3-step process. Yes, someone wants to understand the package, etc. But before we get into it, how we can help, the charges, etc., we want to leave it to the last. And by the end of it, because you are really nice audience staying with us, also being very patient with us, we will provide you a gift by the end of it. So stay tuned, stay here with us. We'll provide you a gift from us. There is a question. It says, Prabesh is asking, how can we start? So if you can just give a brief answer to Prabesh, how can Prabesh start if Prabesh is ready to kickstart this process for self-sponsorship?
One question for him to ask himself: do I have the necessary funds to start a business venture in the UK?
Yes.
That's what he needs to ask himself. If his answer is yes, I do have it, then that's where you start from. Then you either go ahead and set up a company, or either you instruct us to help you with that.
I think
do your finances first.
Yeah, but I think there is a frequently asked question, and probably the audience might have this question, is how much funds do I need to kickstart this process? So if you can just give us a little bit of understanding, how much money do I need to kickstart this self-sponsorship?
Okay, I think to start with, make the calculation to make sure, based on the family members that you have in, do you have enough funds to cover the cost of the visa application, which nowadays is quite expensive. So I'll give you an example. A family of 4 might have to spend probably 15,000, 20,000 pounds for 5 years visa. You can do it shorter. You can do it for a year, for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. If you want to go 5 years, then you're looking around 15 to probably 20,000 pounds, paying application fees, IHS fees, all this fees that you've got to pay to the Home Office. So if you have that, then you start, then it's one step ahead. Then in terms of how much money you need as a business, is for you, the business, the entrepreneur mind, to make a decision how much money I need. Here in the UK, no one tells you need 1,500 million, billions. It's about the venture that you are establishing. And I want to give you a precise example. I have helped a Russian citizen to go through this route, like all of you probably might want to go, and her business venture was providing or establishing or producing an application for to do some sort of mind something to do with the mind for individual. Okay, so literally listening to some podcasts. So she was a professional therapist, so she will record herself, publish this online, and this is how she generated a lot of business. Now, to start that type of business, she made her some calculations. So she's established that her initial investment, to be in a position to pay for an office, to be in a position to pay for website, to be in a position to pay for Google ads, let's say, she said, look, I need in the region of £15,000. So that was the original investment, set up to £15,000. Then the other question that comes through, okay, so if you've got £15,000 available for you to start the business, your salary is £45,000 a year. Gross annual salary. So you got to do the maths, because that's exactly how the home office will do it. If your business has £5,000 in your business bank account, but your salary is £60,000 a year or £70,000 a year, you have to justify how will you be paying. How is this company going to be affording your salary every month of £5,000, let alone the expenses that you need, if your bank account only shows £5,000? So that's how you identify how much you need as a business. But to give you an overall answer, of course, every business is different, every position is different, salary are different. Most of our clients, they are spending on this route for 5 years visa, somewhere in the region of £50,000 to £80,000, maximum to £100,000 investment, and that includes professional fees, your initial investment for the company, home office fees to start with. Now, some of you might say, oh, that's quite a lot of money. Well, no, it's not, because if you remember we had tier 1 entrepreneur route. We needed, as an individual, you needed £200,000 cash, liquid, to invest into a company. And then you also had to create 2 full-time jobs. And in addition to that, there is no guarantee your business will succeed. So I've seen loads of my clients that had to go back because they couldn't sustain their business. They lost their £200,000. And also they spend around 50, 60, 70,000 pounds in staff. So it's not, this decision to make, is this route good for me? It's for you to make it, and how much price you put on this country, whether UK is the right country for you and will fit you and the family. So that's what I can say in terms of investment or the money available for somebody.
Fantastic, thank you. Just to wrap up and conclude, what they're saying is it's depending on you, because you have to decide how much money you think you need to run your business. So to simplify, if it's a service-based business, let's say providing consulting or therapy or any sort of IT consulting business, which is a service-based business, it doesn't require a huge upfront investment. Having said that, there is a professional fees that you would pay us if you hire us. If you do it yourself, it's free. You don't need to pay us anything. There is no obligation to pay us if you don't want our service. But of course, there is a fees to pay us. There's a professional fees. There is a fees to pay to the home office. And then on top of that, you need some investment to demonstrate that you have enough funds to run your venture, whatever it might be. Roughly, if it's service-based business, maybe £25,000 of money in your business bank account will work to kickstart the project for you, in addition to the fees that you would pay the lawyers and the home office. We will come back to that number by the end of it, within last 5 minutes, explaining you our fees and home office fees. So stay and bear with us. So hope that answers question about investment. If you want to buy a hotel, it might take £1 million. If you want to buy a restaurant, maybe £500,000 or £1 million, depending on the size of the business. If you are doing a investment heavy business where you require like inventory, of course, it will be higher cost. If it's service-based business, lower cost. Hope that makes sense, and hope that answers a very important question for everyone. Thank you so much. Let's move on to the next question. I'm just going through the Q&A only. So first come, first serve. There's a question from Rosita Bedi. The question is not quite clear. It looks like she's asking if she can visit her country. She said she's running business in India. The answer is absolutely yes, Rosita. If you are here on self-sponsored visa, you can visit your home country. You can travel up to 180 days per year. So you have to spend at least half of the time in the UK roughly to qualify for permanent residency. So 180 days you are allowed to visit outside the UK out of 5 years period. So every year you should be here at least 186 days every year. So that's answer to your question. Hopefully, Rosita, if not, you can rephrase your question and put that at the bottom of the Q&A only. The next question is from Kamala Ila, and Kamala is asking, I want to set up a business in paint tinting machine. We have experience of 20 years. So the question is it possible? What do you think, Diana? Is that possible to run this business in the UK under self-sponsorship route?
Yeah. What is the business that she's looking for?
Business in paint tinting machine.
Yeah. Any business that will run and will make you money and can survive.
Absolutely. Thank you, Diana. And the answer is under self-sponsorship route, any business can qualify. Literally any business, any active trading genuine business can qualify, unlike Innovator visa, where the only innovative business can qualify for Innovator visa, where in self-sponsorship route literally any business can qualify as long as it's a genuine active trading company and you have relevant qualification, skill and experience to run that business. It can be transferable skill, qualification, experience. So let's say you have a business running in India, running a restaurant, and you want to start a restaurant consulting business, is perfectly fine because there is a transferable skill, qualification, experience for you to run that business in the UK. It doesn't need to be identical. Hope that answers question for you, Kamala. So next question is from Tamara, and he's asking, I want to run a software development company. I spoke with a friend of mine. It's difficult to succeed in kind of business, especially in terms of finance. What do you think? Of course, we are immigration lawyers. We can't advise on the business side of it. So Tamara, you have to do your own due diligence and fact finding whether you can or cannot succeed in the UK running a software consulting business. We have hundreds of clients running software consulting, hundreds of clients running software consulting business. So if they are successful, and if you find a way to run it successful, I'm sure you will be successful too, Tamara. But it's something for you to decide yourself. Next question is from Chakshu Goyal. Can we get a self-sponsored visa for an online e-commerce business registered in the UK? And the answer is absolutely yes. We covered earlier, any business can qualify for self-sponsored visa route, Chakshu. So hope that answers for you as well as for the entire audience. The next question is from Elaine. Elaine is asking, I have already created my company. I already have a domain name. I'm creating a website. I don't have a bank account yet. The nature of my business is e-commerce. I am a healthcare worker. I'm not sure what's the question there, Elaine. If you're asking a question, can you do it? The answer is absolutely yes, you can do it. If you have follow-up question, please put your question underneath on Q&A only. Okay, this is a good question from Snehil. Snehil is asking a question, is there any minimum value for the business balance sheet or taxation or profit to be before applying sponsorship? And I'll let Diana answer this question. Diana, can you answer this question? Is there any minimum value?
Simple answer is no. No. As a business, especially if you are early stages, there is nothing that says within the books that you are going to make profit. Most of the businesses in the UK, when they start with, they are in loss. As long as you can sustain as a business and there is evidence that you are trying and working out your business, then that's considered to be a viable business. That's the answer.
Wonderful, Snehal. Diana, thank you for that. Snehal, I hope that answers your question. There is no minimum requirement of turnover or minimum years of trading or profitability. As long as it's active trading, genuine business, you can go through this self-sponsorship route. The next question is from Romina, and this is a very important question for everyone on this podcast, on this webinar today. Can you please mention as a family, if the kids are over 18, would they still include them on the application, or they should be under 18? Diana, can you answer that question, please, about family?
So children over the age of 18 are no longer considered children. There is an exception from the rule if you can demonstrate that they are still dependent on you and it's not in the best interest of them to be left alone. But of course, it's a more difficult application to make, but they will not be part of your original application because they are adults.
Wonderful. So to answer this question, could rephrase: children under 18 and a spouse and partner can join as a dependent under this route. If the children are over 18 at the time of application, they might not be able to join. There are some exceptions. But if they are under 18 and they have already joined, they can continue staying as your dependent for throughout the period of the visa. So they might be over 18 by the time they are here. That's perfectly fine. But at the time of application, they should be under 18. Hope that answers your question, Romina. The next question is from Fani. Fani Verma is asking, please can you mention average time for the process? Diana, this is for you. What's the average process time?
If you go through the entire process stage 1, 2, and 3, then the average timeline is between 6 to 8 months.
Wonderful. So 6 to 8 months is the rough guideline for the process end-to-end project management from the day you instruct us till you get the skilled worker visa, approximately 6 to 8 months. Can I invest money in convenience store and do self-sponsorship route? Question from Amit Patel.
Yes, you can, Amit, but you will have to look at the business. Is it really needed? Are you actually needed as a director or as an investor into that business? And what are you going to be bringing in that business? If your purpose is just to put some money there, then probably it's not the best business idea for you to follow. It's a risk. It's considered a risk business.
Yeah, it's a high risk business. I mean, having said that, if it's an active trading, genuine business, and if you are needed to run that business, yes, you can explore the route. Feel free to reach out to our legal team. We will provide you a link at the end. So please stay tuned with us if you want to speak with the team. Mohammed is asking question. I have a company for around a year, 3 months on a graduate visa. How much of the cost difference if we don't have investment but have 10, 12 clients, can we get a license from a virtual office? Diana, if you can answer Mohammed's question, please.
There is no such a thing as license from the virtual office. You just get a virtual office. It's more of a rent agreement. Yes, you can. Your business doesn't have to be let's say identify or be trading in an expensive office where everyone has their own desk. No, you can use the virtual office as long as your agreement is signed by both parties and allows you to book in visits. Yes, you can.
Perfect, Mohammed. So to answer your question, the answer is yes, you can get a sponsor license using virtual office. That's the answer. The second part of your question was if you don't have investment but you have regular clients. The idea is, when you talk about investment, there is no minimum investment requirement to go through this process. As long as you can justify the viability of the business, Mohammed, you can apply for the self-sponsorship route where you get the sponsor license for your own company and then sponsor yourself to work for your own company, Mohammed. Hope that answers your question. Thank you, Diana. The next question is from Rosita. She's asking, do I need any kind of certification of business management to start the business?
No, Rosita, as long as you can provide some sort of experience, documentation that you have done a similar business or similar job in the past. I want to clarify here. What do I mean by that? It doesn't mean you should have run a business on your own. You could have been involved in the management of a company. Okay, and then with that skill set, you have a good understanding of how a business is actually being run in the UK. That's what you need. There is no certification. No.
Wonderful. Not for business management. Thank you, Diana. Rosita, hope that answers the question. Rosita, I will skip your next question about the grocery store, how much money needed. We don't know. We don't know. You have to figure it out. How much money do you need to start a grocery store business? My personal understanding and knowledge is it can start from 100,000 or maybe 50,000 to maybe £500,000, Rosita. So it depends the grocery store you buy, Rosita. That's probably on top of my head. Please don't consider as advice. It's just the general knowledge I have. The next question is from Dato Dr. Rahmatu, and he's asking, I want to start a food truck. How much money do I need? I think, again, the same answer, Dato Dr. Rahmatu. If you are starting food truck, you have to figure it out. How much do you need to run that food truck business in the UK? If you're abroad, we can also provide you and facilitate you, connect you with a business consultant who can do a business plan, computer analysis, do a SWOT analysis, do a projection, financial planning for you. But roughly If you can figure it out, maybe food truck, it doesn't look like a investment heavy business. It does qualify, it can qualify for self-sponsored route, Dato doctor, hope that helps. But you have to find out or instruct someone or probably do online research. How much money would it need roughly if you are not in the UK? If you are in the UK, you can probably figure it out yourself. We are immigration lawyers. We are not business advisors. Just to disclaimer, put a disclaimer forward. The next question is from Saima. Do I need a British partner for sponsoring me, or is that just for sponsoring others? Saima is asking, do I need someone who is British or settled in the UK to go through this process? Diana, can you answer that question for Saima and for everyone else on this webinar?
Yes. So as part of the sponsor license application, you will need what is called in legal terms authorizing officer, which can be a director of your business, can be an employee of your business, and that individual will have to be settled, not necessarily British citizen.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. The next question is from Kamala. At the beginning, can we do production in India and import it to the UK?
Yeah, you can. It's an import-export business. This is how it's being considered. So yes, we do have quite a lot coming from the African continent, and we did help a family that this is what they are actually doing. So they've been importing a lot of their African traditional food into the UK, where they have established an amazing, resourceful shop and some sort of delivery that they do. Yes, it's possible.
Where are they from? Where is this client from?
Nigeria.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so Nigerian client doing the similar stuff. Hope that helps. Kamala, to you to answer your question. Next question is from Deepak Sehgal. How about consultancy service? The answer is yes, absolutely yes. You can run a consultancy service under self-sponsorship route. Sam Khan is asking, do we help us getting authorizing officer to get the license? The answer is yes, but we will cover in a greater detail in just 2 minutes. So please bear with us how we can help us if you are interested to understand. The next question is from Abed. Do bank account, open account for businesses that are fully owned by foreigners? The answer is yes. There are two types of business bank account, which we can explain by the end of this. And or when you connect with us, we can explain a bit more how it works. Abed. So that's the answer to a question of Abed about business bank account. Yes, it's possible, and we can talk about it when you connect with us, or probably by the end of this webinar if you are left with some time. Deepak Sehgal is asking, I'm on a skilled worker visa for almost 4 years. If I switch now, would I be eligible for ILR after a year? So I have been here since 2020. Diana, what do you think?
Yes.
Deepak, the short answer is yes. If you switch, you can qualify for ILR in 5 years from the day you start your skilled worker visa. So 4 plus 1 more year and you are good to go for ILR. Thank you. Sunanda is asking, is there any minimum shareholder percentage of a joint company? Is there any minimum shareholder percentage of a joint company? What's the answer for Sunanda?
Whoever pays more gets the more percentage in a company.
Sunanda, it's very flexible. You decide, you choose of the percentage shareholding. It's completely up to you, at your discretion. There is no minimum maximum prescribed to go for this route. Hope that helps. Okay. There is a question about our fees. Devan will deal with that in a second. Snehal is asking a question that you mentioned to show, like Diana has mentioned, that company need to show funds to prove salary. So can you provide us rough figure that for opening a business, do I need to get a business visa and show some fund in bank for living cost? How much to show to get a sponsor license?
No, there is no such a thing as having to show any cost of living. No, there is no such a thing. There is not even a requirement.
Thank you. So next question is from Elaine. With a sponsorship certificate, are we authorized to do other work? Really good question. Please answer that, Diana.
Yes, you can do supplementary work as long as your supplementary work falls within the required categories by the Home Office. So the answer is yes, it's possible. And as long as your hours that you are going to spend in your supplementary work do not interfere with the main job that you are intending to do and you were sponsored to do, i.e. running your own business.
Wonderful. I will take one last question and then we'll get into how we can help. If you are interested, stay tuned. And of course, as I said, I wanted to give you a gift by the end of it. So please stay tuned. One last question. Last question from Zahir Wairani. I am a student dependent in UK and I have started my company in which I'm working as a consultant. Can this be converted into self-sponsorship visa route? Diana, this is a question for you and probably you want to run with an example you did recently.
Yes, you can. We've helped somebody in IT and engineering, so it was a mixed business with multiple skill set, where the husband was a dependent, and then of course the wife completed the course. He was still a dependent, but they were wanting not to go through the route of the graduate because it's just a bit of a waste of time, to be honest. So with the company already established, running, then we've converted that into a self-sponsorship route. So if self-sponsorship has 1, 2, 3 as stages, in that situation, we drop down stage 1 because there was already a business that existed, and we've only focused on stage 2, getting the license, getting the paperwork done properly, HR, and then stage 3, which is the skilled worker visa.
Thank you. Now, last part is there has been many questions about how we can help you, our fees, total cost, etc., etc. So what I will do is I'll just go through the section where we have covered literally everything. And if you are ready, we can cover that in just 1 minute. So are you ready for that? If you want to hear about how we can help you, if you want to understand the investment timeline, everything, how we have done this past for the many clients. So let's cover this quickly. Without further ado, let me start the slide. And where was the service? Let me just, okay. How can AY&J Solicitors assist you in obtaining self-sponsorship visa? So the step-by-step guide, I have also done a video on YouTube channel, so I'll provide you a link as well. So simply we provide complete hand-holding support from start till end, from day 1 till date, till you get the skilled worker visa. You have your 5-year skilled worker visa with your family, i.e. your spouse, partner, or children under 18. We cover literally everything from start till the end. So first thing first, we introduce you to a strategic partner, will help you achieve your objective. What does it include? Number 1, accountant will incorporate your company. Web designer will design your website. And an authorizing officer who will be acting as an authorizing officer for your business for sponsor license, will be a settled person. We also facilitate that within our one-stop package. We also, if needed, prepare a business plan for you, get you a business bank account, get your business a business bank account. We'll then go on to prepare a sponsor license application for you and prepare and train the authorizing officer for potential compliance check by the Home Office. It happens now and then. Today at 9 a.m. I was with the Home Office helping the authorizing officer to go through the interview for the compliance visit. It does happen. And you need someone who is experienced, expert, and knowledgeable to go through this sort of scrutiny by the Home Office. Very importantly, we do not hide any information from the Home Office. We make it everything upfront. We tell the truth. We are 100% honest. We are 100% transparent to the Home Office what exactly we are doing with this application. We tell the Home Office upfront, here is our client. He wants to get self-sponsorship visa, i.e. skilled worker visa to work for his own company. So you get the complete confidence and trust in this process. When we train the authorizing officer, we train you to get this successful application. Then after, of course, once we get the sponsor license for your business, we get you a skilled worker visa. We literally provide you with the hand-holding support, leaving everything up to us in one package. Of course, the fees being asked, we charge, our fees is 30,000 plus VAT, around 36,000 pounds. Please note, it includes literally everything. There is no extra cost except Home Office fees and the virtual office cost. The virtual office cost is around 80 to 100 pound per month. The home office fees is, please make a note if you want to make a note. I think it's for the main applicant is around 8,000 pound for the 5 years of visa, roughly. And each dependent is around, what is the fees for the each dependent, Diana? It's around 4.5 or 5,000 pound.
Yes, approximately with all the conversion rates.
Perfect. So let's say 4.5 to 5,000 pound per dependent for 5 years visa. Main applicant is around 8,000 pound. So you can do the maths because you know how many dependents you might bring in. Our fees is 36,000 pound, includes VAT, right? Put it all together. Now, this option is probably not for everyone, and it's perfectly fine. What I have done is, we have done a lot of YouTube videos. So go on our YouTube channel, AY&J Solicitors on YouTube. You will find 30 to 40 videos on how the process works, what you can do. If you want to do it yourself, do it yourself. It's free. But if you need a professional guidance from a law firm, we have just done over 100 cases. We've been practicing in this area for over 15 years, a legal 500 multi-award winning firm. And if you genuinely need our help, feel free to contact us. If not, it's perfectly fine, no obligation whatsoever. So that's about our fees and how we work with the client. Hope it's clear, honest, and transparent. This is the gift from us to you because you are on this webinar. And what we will be doing, and this is a really, really surprise gift. I never did that, never ever did that. And I want to offer everyone, whoever wants to join this program, you have learned a lot, you have watched the video, and please go and do your own due diligence and research online. Just go A Y J Solicitors Sales Concept. You will find plenty of information online. We have been writing about it for last 3 years in mainstream media like Times of India, Economic Times, etc. Everywhere. On YouTube, I've done a lot of podcasts as well. Huge, evidence and testimonials out there on YouTube channel. But because you are here, and I really enjoyed here on this webinar, so I want to do a surprise gift. It's genuinely surprise. Never did that before. And what I want to do is, if someone wants to start a process with us, right? Anyone of you want to start a process with us because you are on this webinar, I want to do a 15% discount straight if you start with us within 7 days, which is 28th of May 2024. So write it down. What you have to do is, I'll share a link of booking a call with one of my business relationship executive. And when you book a call, in the description, just write down 21st May 2024 webinar. Just write down 21st May 2024 webinar. Pay our first tranche. We charge in installment. You don't need to pay the entire fees to us right now. Ask for 15% discount. They will honor it. If not, we will make sure you get it done. If you book the call now, for you will have a call link, booking call link on your screen in 1 second. Just book a call, start the process within 7 days. 15%, never did that. Nobody will do it on my team. If you ask them, they will be surprised as well. I have to go and let them know. If someone comes from this webinar, book a call, they are entitled for this discount on this webinar. You will have a copy. 2 conditions, book a call. You have to, first condition, you have to book a call. Second is you have to start the process before 27th May. 15% discount on our fees. You do the maths, whatever it might be, around 4,500 pounds saving straight. If you are interested, if not, it's perfectly fine. You can also have a free call if you just want to have a quick assessment with them. Book that call. If you change your mind, if you want to start before 27th, do that as well. I'll put the link right now on your screen. Book the call now to speak with my team member, understand how you can progress, number 1, or number 2, kickstart the process. So book the call now if you're ready. The offer is on your screen right now. So book the call if you want, either to kickstart the process or just have a chat with my team, okay? And they will happy to help you. And this is a clean surprise. In fact, probably Diana did not know about it. So this is a clean surprise. We never did that. I don't know. This was on back of my head. Say, okay, if we are doing webinar today, we want to give something for people to attend. We never did that. We don't do that at all. People pay full fees to us every time they sign up with us. So hope that helps. All the very best. Book the call now. If you like it, just say yes, thank you, or probably some comment in the chat box, and we'll see you probably whenever we see you.